Thanks for staying with us here on STL TV Live. I'm back with Deborah Zeman from the American Czech Educational Center, and we're talking about the big Czech Festival that's coming up in April. And something that's notable about this is all volunteer-based. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. We make all of the food ourselves over at our American Czech Center. The bartenders are all volunteers. The people who work the booths are all volunteers. We have a pretty good community within our center. There are I would say about 350 core members who belong to the shareholder organizations of the center, and everything is done by volunteers. We all pitch in and do our best to promote the Czech community.
Well, let's talk about sort of your heritage. When we talk about traditions being passed down generation by generation, I mean, when you talk about making these pastries, these are recipes that you've had in your family, and when you talk about the food, is this sort of known recipes? Are these family recipes?
Absolutely, absolutely. Most families within the Czech community still do at least some of the Czech food. Traditionally, pork dumplings and sauerkraut was a staple for Sunday dinner. A lot of other families have, roast beef dinners. No, we always had pork dumplings and sauerkraut. A lot of different ways to make dumplings. We make yeast dumplings that are light as a feather, and when you smother them with gravy, they are the best things in the world. And most families grew up knowing how to make the traditional Czech pastries. We will have a pastry booth at the festival so that people can take advantage of not only having the dinners with us, but also picking up something to take home with them as well. And we love what we do and have a good time with it.
Well, I think what's so interesting about the center, and we have a photo of the center, it's been around for some time now, is that you were saying growing up you actually sort of went and had lessons and
Absolutely.
You learned about your heritage and your background. Tell me more about that.
Absolutely. We had Czech school classes when we were kids. The American Czech Center has been around since 1965. That's when we broke ground. And in 1966, we dedicated the building, so that's been our traditional anniversary date. But before that, we had our own national hall down in the old Lafayette neighborhood,
okay.
Dolman and Allen. Mm-hmm. If you are going on Highway 44 and you make the turnoff to go south on mm-hmm. 55, you've pretty much driven right through what used to be our old hall.
Okay.
But when we opened this, we started having Czech school for the kids and for the adults. We still have a small Czech school that goes on at the center, and we learned some of the language. We learned the songs when we were kids. We learned some of the dances, and the gym classes are still going on down there. And we have different organizations that meet. And it is a rental facility, so we have other organizations and other clubs that come down and make use of our facility. And we're not a big community anymore, but we're still pretty strong.
Yeah, and you're saying on both sides, your family is Czech on both sides.
Absolutely, both sides as far as we can go back. And a lot of the people down at the center can say that as well. And in some cases, someone will marry outside the Czech nationality, and the spouses will come in and become strong parts of the organizations as well.
And you mentioned Lafayette Square, and with the Lansdowne location in South City, has that been an area historically where the sort of St. Louis Czech communities
traditionally Soulard into Lafayette Square? The Czech community was pretty damaged by the tornado that came through in 1896. Okay. But a lot of people stayed and helped rebuild the community. And then when the highway came through, then we scattered a little bit more. So there's no longer a Czech area of St. Louis, but there's still a Czech heart that beats here very strongly.
No, this is so interesting, and people can experience more of it at the Czech Festival.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we've got, again, the information there for you. You should go and check it out. It's open to anyone, to the public, complete free admission. The Czech Festival, again, is at the American Czech Educational Center, taking place Saturday, April 11th, from 11 a.m. to not just 6 p.m. Food is no longer served after 6 p.m., but it still goes a little bit longer. But again, for more information, go to atec-stl.org. Thank you again, Deborah. Thank you
for having me.
All right. Well, we have more on STL TV when we return. We're going to chat with Slater Betts and Sadija Moody from Taste and See Catering and Event Planning. We'll be right back after this break.